most people can say that they're bored at some point in their lives, and it's usually because you're stuck somewhere with nothing to do or nowhere to go. Usually when you're brainstorming things to do, origami does not come to mind. Origami came from China in 100 AD. It's a creative art that you can create with only a piece of paper or two. To show you just how easy it is, I will show you the history, the benefits, and the different types that you can make with origami. So first, most people think that origami came from Japan, but actually it came from China in 600 AD. It came from a servant named Tu Sailun, and the Chinese Empire ordered him to make a piece of art out of one piece of paper, and he did, and that's when people started making it more. But then in 600 AD, it went to Japan, where it really took off, and that's where you kind of know that it came from Japan. It didn't come to the US or England until the 1900s, and back then paper was really expensive, so you couldn't just like go and get a piece of paper and make what you wanted. So it wasn't like too popular for us back then. But then once paper became cheaper, they started making more and more, and then books started coming out, and it became more popular then. Now that I've talked about the history, we can talk about the benefits. So when you're little, when you're doing math, your teachers probably had you make origami because it teaches you how to follow certain instructions. It also develops multicultural awareness. It teaches you all the different countries that it can come from. It teaches you math lessons like geometry and problem solving. It also is used in therapy, like for mental health or exercises and things like that. Now that I've talked about the benefits, we can talk about the types. So there's hundreds of different types that you can make, but the three main types are the original, the inflatable, and then like two-piece. The original is when you just take one piece of square paper and make an animal or an object or anything. But the crane is the most popular. The inflatable is when you just make a normal object, but then there's a small gap when you're done and you blow into it and it makes it three-dimensional, like that bunny. Two-piece is when, like if you're making an animal, you could make the head and the body, or like if you're making a more complex, you can add the other one in to make it more fun. So from all I've taught you, I hope that from the history to the benefits from all the different types, I hope that when you think of origami, you can think of all the creative art that you can make with only a piece of paper or two, and that when you're home with nothing to do, you can think of all the things that you can